Hi, welcome to your Shipper Update. I'm Mike Vincent. He's Anthony Smith. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday, and that means one thing. Initial jobless claims
Amen.
got updated.
Yes,
and so
it does.
we have to take a look about around what happened with the latest initial jobs claims.
Okay.
And they increased. So they hit a pandemic low last week. They hit a pandemic low just around 310,000 applicants. Now, that's not uncharted territory. We've been there before.
Okay.
I mean, looking at 2014, I think 2015, we kind of seen some numbers around there.
Okay.
Before the pandemic, we were in the 200,000.
You said around that 300,000 was the mark where we could start saying,
Yeah.
okay, we're getting back into reality.
Exactly. Closer to it. Yeah, closer to
Whatever.
it. And so looking at it, we did see a little bit of a pickup. It's now at 332,000. Not a spike in a sense, but an increase. And so we never want to see an increase. If we can just see sideways movements, subtle jumps, that's
So
okay.
22 is a little more than what you would classify in the sideways movement move.
Yeah.
It's a
I'll
little
say
more concerning than just a little.
exactly. And the other thing that we have to see and take note of is how is the vaccine mandate really going to manifest and take hold of these initial jobs claims? We're looking at different segments, different companies, different industries really reacting to it. Are there going to be more initial claims coming in as more people kind of voluntarily separate to work at a smaller company? And how's it all going to impact jobs? So that's going to be the thing that we're going to have to watch closely here with initial claims.
Yeah, it's interesting because since we saw that suggested mandate, I mean, it's being fought, right? But right now, but the mandate come out, you've seen more companies be they're emboldened to say, hey, we're going to let you go if you don't get.
Yeah.
Right now, without it actually being a law, it's still being fought, right?
Exactly, and
still getting there. So we'll see how that happens.
Yeah, and in some areas it kind of makes sense, especially within manufacturing or in a warehouse. You might be in close quarters, and we've seen early on in the pandemic where a worker may have tested positive, the entire operation has to shut down. And so I can see why that's going to be taken much more seriously compared to some other roles, maybe construction where you're outside and things like that.
Yes,
So.
the thoughts of its ability to transmit so much easier than the old Alpha, obviously, but we're on Delta now, right?
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, the thought that it does do that, it makes it just so, and you shut it down, we yank it.
Exactly. And so the other big thing that we have to take note of is even as these initial claims are moving sideways, subtle jumps here and then, consumer confidence or consumer activity is still high. So on our next chart, we're going to talk about that exact thing, and we're looking at retail sales. And so the latest number for retail sales showed that there was a 0.07 increase month over month. Now that might not sound like a huge jump, but it is pretty substantial. We're looking at last month, it had a downward movement of 1.8%. It just got revised down from 1.1%. So we're seeing a subtle increase of 0.7%. This is along my lines of expectations. I wasn't expecting the headlines to be so positive about it. I guess they were expecting a huge drop off. My expectations were a subtle gain, a subtle rise in retail sales, and especially with the backdrop of back to school sales going on in August. So was expecting this rise, and seeing this outcome isn't too surprising. The surprise is everyone else's reaction to it, because I didn't think they're going to be this excited about it. So I'm glad to see that the headlines and all the other outlets
you're a little more level-headed than me.
Well, I like to think so. So looking at retail sales.
But is that a normal seasonal dip and recover?
I would say it's more regular.
I mean, I don't know, but it seems like it would be over the summer. You'd have a little bit of a dip in retail, and then going into the fall, go back to
things
school.
will pick up. Back to school will be definitely a busier season.
Is that why you were kind of like, okay?
Yeah, especially after earlier on in the year where we saw Amazon Prime Day, and then the month after that it was a drop off. Like, there's going to be a drop off. There was Prime events and e-commerce holidays. Looking forward, we're going to have, I think, more e-com holidays to look forward to. We're looking at Cyber Monday around Thanksgiving and things like that.
So you saw the change month over month. What was the year over year?
15%. 15% year over year.
That's pretty impressive. Because it was pretty strong last August, right?
It was. And so that's telling you something. Even though we might see momentum slowing or easing down, it's still very much robust. And so we're looking at, even if it starts to go below the last month's gain, is still relatively strong. So I think you just put it perfectly a couple of weeks back, is you can't have your foot on the gas pedal going to hyperdrive the entire time. Getting into these seasonalities, getting into some of these trends where this growth is normal, to have subtle drops, subtle rises. That's what we're going to have to expect going forward, and not to really see this as, consumers slowing down or Delta taking hold or anything like that, but just a little bit of return to normalcy in a sense.
Yeah, every once in a while you're going to run across somebody in the left lane that shouldn't be there.
It shouldn't be, exactly. Right? You need to just put out quotes every single day. That's what we need. That's what the world needs, Michael Vincent.
That's what I do.
But we're definitely going to keep a close watch on what's going on with consumers. E-commerce, definitely going to be, I think, a strong driver looking forward for freight activity, especially when we're looking at Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Going to be interesting to see how, what is that one big one where everyone piles in? Do we still do that anymore?
I don't know.
And like bum rush Walmarts? What is that day after Thanksgiving?
Black Friday.
Black Friday. Yeah, are we still doing that? Is that still
I was going
a
to
thing?
say, is that Boxing Day? Is that like
No, in Canada.
That's Canada.
No, but is that
Everybody gets
still
out
a
and fights
thing?
each other in the street, and then
That's what they do. Those Canadians, they get it all out in one day of the
That's
year.
why they're so polite.
That's why they're so polite.
Excellent.
Canadians early on to the purge.
Thank you for that. Anthony, we'll catch up with you a little bit later in the show. Thank you so much. Right now, let's toss it to Kaylee Nix.